You want me to play too? I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, and I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. It always seems the hardest, and I made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain in the shadowy canyons, from pool to stream. Wanna be like water that I feel no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? Who doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. In the end, he always makes it home just fine, 'cause he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain in the shadowy canyons, from pool to stream. Wanna be like water that I feel no more. I am bound for the sea. All that nature take its course. The more thinking that I know where this river is meant to go. I have rallied against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me, yeah. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain in the shadowy canyons, from pool to stream. Wanna be like water that I feel no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain in the shadowy canyons, from pool to stream. Wanna be like water that I feel no more. I am bound for the sea.
And so from this place of oneness that is metaphorically the sea, that is the sea within us, that is the consciousness of knowing that we are all one with the divine source of all of life, that one power and presence that exists in all of us, in everything. I know right here, right now, that we are willing to swim together in those deep waters of consciousness, to face our fears and to come together to acknowledge the good, the authentic self that lives within each. I know that this is the truth of this community, that this is the truth of this teaching, and that is how we get to show up for one another today, right here, right now, swimming in the seas of love, supporting one another on this journey into the deep where we face our fears together. And so with deep gratitude for this consciousness, for this teaching, and for this beautiful community as we celebrate here together, I simply release this word into law, into that ever-present and loving law that does unto us as we believe. And as I believe in this truth, in this word, and in this community, I know that it is already done. And so I invite you all to join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, a vibrant community where love, joy, and inclusivity are at the heart of everything we do. Here, we honor the unique journey of every soul, offering a place of healing, growth, and celebration. Together, we create an atmosphere of openness and love where every person is seen, valued, and accepted just as they are. My name is Lori Carlson. I'm a licensed practitioner here at CSLM. Thank you for joining us. Whether you are here in person, it's so great to see all of you, or whether you're watching the live stream or checking us out at a later time, we are so happy that you are part of this journey of shared wisdom, light, and transformation. If this is your first time with us, we welcome you and invite you to get a welcome packet and complete a new visitor form so we can include you in the future events happening at our center. To all of you, we publish a weekly newsletter through Constant Contact. If you are not already signed up, please sign up at the back. You can also visit us on our website, which is cslmorristown.org. I am very blessed and grateful to be welcoming Grayson Nuremberg to do our beautiful music. He is going to be honoring us with 3 original songs today. That was Water by Daniel Nahmod, but the next 3 songs are all Grayson Nuremberg originals. So it is always my privilege and honor to work with Grayson. The 2025 CSL theme is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. The theme for July is Rolling in the Deep. And so the topic of my talk is who's afraid of sharks? So I'm going to be talking to you today about your fears, about facing them, about going deeper within to acknowledge them and to hopefully let them go and rise above them. But first, we're going to start the way we always start our celebrations at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, and that is with a namaste practice. So in honor of the fact that we are diving deeper and recognizing our fears, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and internalize this. Today, I fearlessly recognize the divinity within me so that I can fearlessly recognize the divinity within you. Just really let that settle. And then I invite you to put your hands together, turn to someone, and you can either say namaste, or you can say, I fearlessly recognize the divinity within you, and be recognized yourself. So, who in here is afraid of sharks? A lot of people, right? I am not. Maybe because I grew up on the Jersey Shore, swimming a lot. I'm actually not really afraid of sharks. But I know a lot of people are. But what is it that those sharks represent, right? What is it that we are really afraid of? It's about the unknown in the deep, right? It's about those places that seem dark and mysterious, where we don't really know what we're going to expect. Part of the danger of a shark is just the fact that you don't know when it's going to show up, right? The mystery, that unknown. And we have been conditioned to be afraid, right? We have been conditioned to be afraid of that which we don't know. And so that keeps a lot of us living in the shallows. It keeps a lot of us living in the old stories that we've told ourselves, in the things that may not be true but are just familiar. And that's what I call the shallows, right? We stay in that place because it's what we know. But a lot of those stories aren't true. A lot of those stories are just the things that we've been, heard or repeated to ourselves. And it is with diving deeper within and learning to know yourself and acknowledge those things that may be keeping you in the shallows where the real growth happens. Now, I know for me that I spent a lot of time in those shallows. I know I've shared this here before. Most of you all know my story. But for many, many years, I told myself that I was an addict, that I was no good, that nobody needed to hear from me, that everybody was better off without me, that I had nothing to give. all of those negative things. I told myself that story for a very long time. And I thought it was the truth of me. And it took getting thrown into the depths, the deep depths of recovery and of having a spiritual life to recognize that that is not the truth of me. What is it we believe here in Science of Mind and in Centers for Spiritual Living? That within each of us, there is the spark of the divine, right? Ernest Holmes says, there is a divine presence at the center of your being, ready to be discovered. But it's at the center of your being. You don't get there by staying in the shallows. You don't get there by staying in the stories that you've been telling yourself or that other people have been telling you. Because a lot of what we believe, a lot of our fears and things are what other people have told us, right? A lot of it doesn't even come from us. And if we truly know that we are one with the divine and that there is that place within us that is perfect, whole, and complete, that is one with the infinite source of life, then what is there really to fear? It is a hard place to get to, but that's, that's something that is the spiritual journey, right? Like I said, I grew up going to the Jersey Shore every year, so I spent my childhood in the ocean. So I'm not afraid of sharks. I am not afraid of the water. I was a swimmer. My brother and my sister, we all swam on swim teams and swam competitively. So my parents let us go in the ocean no matter what the conditions. Like even when there was no lifeguards and the beaches were closed, we went in the water. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that we were fearless. Then I remember the year that Jaws came out. Does anybody else? I mean, I don't know if you remember that summer. So, I spent every summer of my life at the beach in Ocean City, New Jersey, and that summer, no one would go in the water. I mean, literally, like the kids, the adults, everyone was on the shore. No one would venture into the water. Everyone was terrified of sharks. But guess what? It's the Jersey Shore. What is the reality? Do you know, I Googled it. Since 1962, there have been 4 shark bites, not deaths, bites, in New Jersey, on the Jersey Shore. 4 since 1962. So it is not really a relevant danger, but here's the thing. We believe the stories. We believe the hype, and it affects how we react. It affects our behavior. And that is good awareness. That is what we need to know about ourselves, that we can be affected by the stories. Look around you right now, right? In the world that we live, a lot of people are responding out of fear. A lot of people are responding out of misinformation. A lot of people are being manipulated into behaving a certain kind of way out of fear. But it's just like those sharks on the Jersey Shore. A lot of it isn't true. And it takes the deep work, the courage and the willingness to dive within to find out what is your truth. And then to be able to face it fearlessly. So here's another fun fact for you. Do you know that it is more likely statistically for you to die from a coconut hitting you on the head than it is from a shark attack? So how many of you are afraid of coconuts? So it's just a matter of perspective, right? It's good information. It lets us see where we are letting these stories and these fears direct our behavior and our thoughts. What is it that is like the credo of Science of Mind? Change your thinking.
Change your life.
Right? So we always have the power to make a different choice. We always have the ability to choose differently. And I remember those summers on the beach, you know, every once in a while they would see a fin and the lifeguard would blow his whistle, everybody would come out onto the shore, and then it would be a dolphin, you know, and then everybody would go back in. Or maybe once or twice they would think it was a shark and everybody would just have one day out of the water. But that's really all it was. And the idea was to be aware, to take the actions necessary at the time, but not let them color all of your actions going forward. Doesn't mean you never went back in the water, or for me it didn't, you know. It meant that that day I took the advice or the suggestion of getting out of the water, and the next day I was ready to dive right back in, you know, because the fin was gone and the fin was a dolphin anyway, and I like dolphins. But so that's the danger of believing the stories that we're told. Because, you know, when you think about it, what's wrong with sharks? I mean, I know they're scary when you think about Jaws and stuff like that, but just I don't know if any of you have ever like watched a National Geographic special or anything, but sharks are amazing creatures. They're not good or bad. They are. They're part of our beautiful, amazing world, and they have power and presence that can be inspiring. When a shark if you see a shark as a predator, it is surviving. It is doing what a shark does. And so I like to think of that as a metaphor for when you are truly aware of your authentic self. When you are coming from a place of deep authenticity of who you are, you don't need to apologize for who you are. When you are truly in your nature and know who that is, that you can be a bold shark swimming through the waters without apology, without explanation. I'm not saying, you know, gobble up all the fish, but, you know, if that is who you are, recognize it, acknowledge it, and be who you are. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using the shark analogy several times today in this talk. How many of you saw Finding Nemo? So, you know, there's a great scene, little song, I think, where the sharks decide fish are our friends, not food. So here's the thing. Whether you're a shark who's a predator, or whether you are a shark who says fish are our friends, not food, it's a matter of choice. You know, some people like to say, oh, that's just who I am. Oh, that's just how I am. That's just how I've always been. Well, if a shark can decide that fish are my friends, not food, it is a metaphor for the fact that you always have the ability to change. There is nothing in you that cannot be changed by choice. Change your thinking, change your life. So even those things that you think are so inherently you, I've always done this, that's just who I am, I always react this way, none of that is true. It is all capable of change. It is all capable of choice. But how do you do that? By diving deep below the surface. By acknowledging that what's at the surface is not who you are, right? That spark of the divine that is deep within, that is who you are. And you need to be able and willing to dive deep to find it. Ernest Holmes also says, the answer to every question, the solution to every problem is within. Just let that sink in for a minute. It's within. It's within you already. But you have to find it, right? I mean, you have to be willing to look for it. You have to do the work. What is Lori's mantra? Daily practices. It's the things you do every day that allow you to see that place within yourself, to find that inner wisdom. Because as we know in Science of Mind, we are all connected to that one mind, right? We are all connected to that infinite source of wisdom. But we have so many distractions, so many limiting beliefs, so many fears, so many sharks in our waters that keep us from aligning with that truth, that keep us from recognizing and experiencing that inner wisdom. And that's why we do our daily practices. That's why you have practitioners. That's why you take classes. That's why you read books. That's why you go to workshops. That's why you meditate. That's why you pray. That's why you do affirmations. All of the things that we do to align ourselves with that truth that we are sparks of the divine. Whether you're a shark or a little guppy, you are spark of the divine. And we have to know that, and we have to be willing to do the work. So, I was talking about as a kid diving into the waves and even the storms. And here's the thing that's so interesting. To get through the stormy weather and not be, tossed onto the shore and pummeled, you have to dive deep, right? Underneath is where the calm is. Deep within is where the peace is. But you have to be willing to get through the chop to get there, right? You have to be willing to get through the tumult. Ernest Holmes also says, no matter what confusion appears at the surface of your life, there is always a place of calm at the center of your being. No matter how turbulent the waves may be on the ocean of your experience, beneath there is a changeless peace. Your being is submerged, but not lost in the infinite. So I like to think of that, in terms of this metaphor of the ocean and the sharks and everything. Yes, there's that place of peace within us, but we need to build our muscles to access it. We need to make the way there so familiar that when the sharks are circling, that when the fears and the doubts come up, we can find it, right? Because it's not easy. It's not always easy. You don't want to start looking for it when the storms are going. You want to know it. You want to know that it's there so that when you need it, you can find it. And let me tell you, you will need it because life happens. In AA, we like to say everyone gets their time in the barrel. Means the barrel going over in case you don't get it, over the Niagara Falls. But, so everyone gets their time in the barrel. Life happens. And that's when you need to have your tools in place. That's when you need to know the truth of who you are. Because that is when you will be able to get through whatever you are facing, to swim through the sharks, when you have those muscles in place. So, I'm going to talk about spiritual scuba gear. So I used to love to scuba dive. I can't scuba dive anymore because through my many years of drug use, I have deviated something where now my ears don't balance. So I can't physically scuba dive anymore. But let me tell you, I loved it. I loved the mystery, the excitement, the exploring someplace deep that was different, and the majesty and the wonder. Well, all of that also lies within. The spiritual ocean inside each of us is just as magnificent, is just as awesome, and can be just as scary, right? It takes that scuba gear, that spiritual scuba gear, the tank of oxygen, the mask, all of that, to willingly and confidently explore those places within you that seem dark and dangerous, but that have the possibility of so much awesome magnificence. If you stay in the shallows, if you stay on the shore, hey, listen, I love to lay on the beach as much as the next person. I like to lay on the raft in the water too. I'm not saying those things are bad, but that's not where you are awed by what is unseen and unknown and wants to be discovered and wants to be revealed. Ernest Holmes also says, healing is not creating a perfect idea, but revealing an idea which is already perfect. So it's not about healing yourself, it's about revealing that inner self, that inner oneness, that inner love. And I believe, and I think we all do if we're here in this teaching, that we all have that within us. That within each of us there is good, There is love. There is light. And even those people who you find it difficult to see that in, they are lost. They are distracted. They have too many limiting beliefs or doubts or fears or resentments or whatever it is, that they are not in touch with that. But I truly believe that it is there within each one. That's what we believe in this teaching, right? There is no, it's true for them, but not true for these. We are all one. We all have that same core. And while what we need to dive through to get to it is different, everybody's experience is different. Hopefully none of you have to go through what I've had to go through. But where we get to is always the same. Where we want to arrive at is that place of recognizing our oneness with the divine. That place of magnificent possibility and infinite joy and love and peace and oneness. That is where we're all trying to get to. And so it's like sort of like peeling an onion, diving a little deeper each time, being able to reveal a little more of what is there to be revealed. And I'm not saying it's easy, you know? I mean, in my own story, a lot of you know, I lost my boyfriend in October, and, you know, I loved my life with him. He kept me safe, he made me feel loved, he kept me comfortable, but I gotta say that since I've lost him, I have been forced into depths of myself that I did not know existed. And I'm not saying I'm glad I lost him, I'm not saying that I wish you guys have a loss to experience this. I'm saying that it's good awareness to know what keeps you in the shallows. And being comfortable and being safe and feeling loved can keep you from diving deeper within yourself. So what I am encouraging you to do is don't wait until you're pushed by grief, by despair, by pain. Don't wait until circumstances of life push you into being forced into taking a deeper dive. Choose to dive deep now. Choose to dive deep with that scuba gear, that spiritual scuba gear. Choose to dive deep on your own without being forced into it. And you will find that there is so much for you to know about yourself. There is so much for you to experience. And that's a beautiful thing. I am very grateful that I had the tools, you know? I'm very grateful for all my spiritual practices that gave me a foundation when I needed it and allowed me to swim through some really difficult times. And they're still often very difficult. But I think for the most part, I swim through them with grace, I like to think. I swim through them with faith, with an ever-deepening faith in myself and in my truth and in my belief. And I have let go of a lot of the fear. And I'm not saying it doesn't still come up. It does. I know I've shared with you guys before about that voice in my head that I call Bertha. The negative voice, the voice of self-doubt, the voice of criticism. Well, that voice is still there. On the way here this morning, it was telling me, oh my God, Lori, do you think they really want to hear from you again? Do you have anything more to say? You don't know the teaching deep enough to give a message? Like, what are you doing? I mean, that voice still goes on in my head. But because I have daily practices, because I have spiritual scuba gear, I simply say, shut up, Bertha. I'm not listening to that. I trust that if I do my work, if I'm willing to dive deep, if I put on my spiritual scuba gear every day, that I will be in alignment and I will have something to say that will resonate with someone. And I also trust in all of you. So here's another thing. We don't do any of this alone. You shouldn't swim alone in the ocean. You shouldn't scuba dive alone. And we don't do this deep dive into ourselves alone either. When I come here to speak, I know that you are all here, receptive and accepting and willing to hear me. So you are my support. And we get to be that for one another. That's what spiritual community is. That's how we swim through the sharks together. When I was a kid and we would go in that water and there'd be no lifeguard, we had a system. There was like 4 or 5 of us, and we would dive into the waves, under all the commotion, and then we would come up and we would count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we knew exactly how many of us there was, and if there wasn't enough numbers, we would all go towards where that person was before the wave hit, right? And fortunately, we always, all came out okay. But that's who we get to be in community for one another. We can count off together. We can check each other's scuba gear. Make sure your tank is attached. Make sure you've got enough oxygen. Make sure that you are supported so that you are fearless about diving a little deeper, about facing those fears. Because we all have them, right? Whether it's fear of getting older, economic insecurity, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, fear of what I did yesterday. There's so many. But we don't have to let them keep us beached, right? We don't have to let them keep us from exploring the infinite. And let me tell you, what is possible within you, you have no idea. Every time that you are willing to take a deeper dive within, what you will find will amaze you. I promise you. I have had that experience, and I am constantly amazed. I am constantly amazed by the depths of our natures, by our connection with spirit, and how we get to show up in the world knowing that. And just like the ocean, displays when you scuba dive, you see like fish you never even heard of, and like there's all this amazing stuff. Well, within us, too, are depths of your heart that you don't even know. Depths of understanding that you can give others. Depths of empathy, compassion, joy, creativity, all of those things. They are within you. And it takes the willingness to dive deep to find them. So, the daily practices, right? Here we go. Here's Lori's nagging mantra. What is it that you do on a daily basis? What is it that you do that helps you remember the truth? Remember your alignment with spirit. It can be many things. It doesn't have to be what I do, but it has to be something. You have to choose something and do it regularly. I say daily, several times a day if you really want to dive deep, but at least something you commit to. Coming here once a week is a great thing. Reading a book once in a while is a great thing, but none of that is life-changing. What is life-changing are the little things that you choose to do every day. Even if it's a 2-minute pause before you speak. Even if it's seeing a fear come up and just being able to sit with it instead of pushing it down. Because all those things that we resist persist. And all those things that we push down will come up sideways and come out in ways that you don't want them to come out. So I'm encouraging you all to be interested in what it is that you're willing to commit to. To do the journaling. Let me tell you, there are nights when I do my gratitude journal every night. I have for, I think it's going on 8 years now, if not 9. I have not missed a single night. But I also journal. And there are a lot of nights when I just don't want to do that. I don't want to look at what I'm thinking or feeling or went through that day. But when I do, when I make myself, when I commit to doing it and taking a look within, OMG, what can be discovered? And how much better a day I'm going to have tomorrow if today I'm willing to look at what fear kept me from doing something I wanted to do, or what fear had me react in a way I wish I hadn't reacted. And all of that takes introspection. It takes awareness. It takes effort. It takes practice. And I'm not going to say it ever gets easy, because I've been doing it for a while now and it's still not easy, but I'm going to say it gets easier. Just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you use your muscles, the stronger you get, right? We're trying to build those fins that will help us swim through the sharks. Okay, one more shark analogy for you. How many of you watch Shark Tank? You know the TV show Shark Tank, right? Okay, so what is Shark Tank? Shark Tank is a show where people come with their ideas, their products, the things they have created, and this is very science of mind, and that they believe in, and they bring them forth to be produced or financed, or right? But just think about this. To get on Shark Tank, to go there with something, what have you had to do? What have those people done? They have done the deep work to get an idea and to believe in themselves enough to show up and say, this is who I am, this is what I have, this is what I believe, and I think it's good. And I think it should be, you guys should give me money to make it, or whatever. But it's about that affirmation, right? What is spiritual mind treatment? But affirming our good. What is this teaching all about? But affirming who we are. Standing in your shark nature, if that's who you are. Or choosing to see fish as friends, whichever way you go. But standing in it. Standing in it authentically. Standing in it with confidence. And then, like the world can be like that audience at Shark Tank, where everybody's judging, everybody's, comparing, this isn't good enough, I don't think this is going to work. But then we have a community. We can support each other. We can be those people that cheer each other on. We can be those people that say, yes, I believe in that idea. Yes, I think that's great. I think you can do it. I know you can come up with 2 original songs for service today. Grayson wrote 2 brand new songs from our conversation yesterday to today. So, I believe in him. I said, I know, whatever you come up with, it's going to be perfect. So, I know that affirming other people's abilities, affirming for other people who they are, is so powerful. But you know what a lot of people do? A lot of people affirm our fears. A lot of people point out the sharks. Oh, you better not do that. Look, there's sharks. Oh, they're going to judge you. Those are the people, and I don't know if you're going to like me saying this, but those are the people I think you should keep your distance from. Those are the people, like Chris Ferraro said last week, there's certain people I say, no, enough. Anybody who points out and focuses you on your fears without a way through. I mean, it's fine for somebody to say, hey, that might be a little iffy, but here we are, let's walk through it together, right? Yeah, there's sharks in that water, but I think if we make enough noise, we'll scare them all away, whatever it is, but not somebody who tells you that you can't do what you want to do because of fear. Because of the story that they're telling you. We tell ourselves enough bad stories. Let's not listen to anybody else's story. So, what are you going to do to put on your scuba mask with me today? I want everyone to think of one practice, one daily practice that they are willing to commit to. I don't care if it's one affirmation. Most of you know I have a daily affirmation practice that I write every day and share with people. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes of meditation, whatever it is. But I want you all right now to make a commitment to yourselves to take that deep dive a little deeper, to put on your scuba mask of spiritual tools, to choose one, and to use it to navigate through the shark-filled waters of life with ease and grace, with joy and majesty, to recognize that you can be that powerful presence without judgment, right? Without self-criticism, just accepting who you are, and then swimming free. So let's unlearn what no longer serves us. Let's let go of the stories that we've told ourselves, and let's step into the deep water. I'm gonna lead us in a meditation a little later where we're gonna go into the water. So let's stand boldly in our nature, knowing we are one with the divine, knowing that we can step into the deep together with gratitude for one another and for this teaching that shows us so much. And now we're going to be blessed to have a beautiful original song written just for this talk by Grayson Nuremberg.
Thank you, Lori. That was beautiful. It was I really connected. I always connect with you. So, like Lori said, that first one was Daniel Nahmod's Water, but this one is Be Yourself, Everyone Else is Taken. Take a look inside, face your fears, you've got nothing to hide. God sees everything and loves you through it all. Don't have to stay on the shore. There's so much more to explore, so jump right in. Feel the water envelop your skin. Just be yourself, 'cause everyone else is taken. Oh, oh, oh. Your light shines bright, but only if you let it. Nothing feels right, just be authentic. When you start to face your fears, you realize there's only so many years we get to spend on this earth. Somebody's gonna make it worth it, so jump right in. Feel the water envelop your skin. Just be yourself, 'cause everyone else is taken. Oh, 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 oh. Sometimes I look around and I feel less than, but then I remember it is all a lesson. So jump right in, feel the water envelop your skin. Just be yourself, 'cause everyone else is taken. Jump right in, feel the water envelop your skin. Just be yourself, 'cause everyone else is taken.
Woo! Is he amazing or what? So we're going to jump right into ourselves, and we're going to do a little meditative practice based on getting deeper, going deeper. So I invite you right here to close your eyes, to take a breath, and to just totally arrive in the moment. Let your hands rest gently in your lap. Let your feet rest on the ground. And inhale, knowing you are inhaling the life of spirit. And exhale, letting go of any fears that might be heavy on your mind right now. And then just allow your breath to fall into a natural rhythm, a gentle tide of your breath going in and going out. Trust that with every breath, you are more supported, more anchored, more connected to the infinite within you. And now I invite you in your mind's eye to imagine yourself standing on the shoreline of a beautiful beach. Could be sunrise or sunset, beautiful colors in the sky, soft pink sands, beautiful aqua waters. See the ocean stretching before you like the infinite possibility of spirit. That infinite possibility that exists within you. And now I want you to take a step into the water. Ankle deep. Feel the water lapping around your ankles. It's a comfortable temperature. Feels good. Getting your feet wet. You also feel the warmth of the sun on your face and the warm breeze, the comfortable breeze. It's all good. You are connected. And then take another step and another. Now you are knee deep in the water. You can maybe feel a little bit of the tug, the pull of the tide, but you are anchored. You are safe. You are secure. And from that place, you take another step and another. And now you are waist deep. But it's not scary. You take your feet off the bottom and you are floating because you are held by this great sea of spirit. You are weightless, supported, and free. And as you float in this water, you notice that you are not alone. Here comes that gliding presence of a shark deep below you. You see it, you feel it, you sense it, but you are not afraid. Because this shark is not here to harm you. This shark is a symbol of your own truth, of your own strength, of your own willingness to be yourself without apology or pretense. Take a breath and silently say to yourself, I am willing to see the truth. I am willing to see beyond the fear. And now feel yourself descending into that water. You are wearing your spiritual scuba gear, your courage, your practices, your faith, your community. All that you have is keeping you safe, and you feel supported. The deeper you go, the safer you feel. As all those old stories and labels and limiting beliefs and fears just fall away. And you feel one with the infinite spirit that is all around you, that is within you. Just really feel what that feels like. And as you see sharks drifting by, they are just creatures. You don't fear them, you just embrace who you are in this moment, surrounded by spirit, in the depths of spirit, in the depths of yourself. And you know that from this place, you can face anything. You can face your fears. You can swim with the sharks. Look, you are. You are swimming. You are one. You are safe. You are in infinite possibility. Now look around you and see something you've never seen before. I don't know what it is for you, but just notice something. Something in this internal sea of yourself. Just acknowledge it. We're going to bring it back to shore with us to take home and work with later, or just to sit in awe and wonder with it. And then, with gratitude for this gift that we've been given by diving deep and looking within, this gift of understanding ourselves a little better, this gift that we've received, we simply say thank you. Thank you to this beautiful spiritual ocean of which we are a part. Thank you for the willingness to do this practice. Thank you for the willingness to let go of fear and enjoy the magnificence of the other creatures around you. Remember, you are part of this infinite ocean of possibility. You are more than your fears. You are more than your old stories. With every practice, you build that muscle to move more gracefully through the waters of life. And that is very powerful. So now we're going to gently rise back up to the surface, grateful for this experience, holding the gift that we've found and received, taking it back with us to the shore to contemplate further, to work with, to heal, whatever it is for you. But knowing that there is always more for you to discover in the deep. And being grateful for your willingness to go there. So I want you to repeat silently to yourselves, I am safe to dive deep within myself. I feel safe to face whatever I find there. In community, I find the courage to be my authentic self. And I am grateful for every discovery that I find in the depths of me. And then with one last deep breath, gently open your eyes, return to the room, and be grateful for that gift that you found and for the willingness to take the journey and to dive with me. And now, Grayson is going to bless us with yet another song.
This one is called Diamond. Played it say, stayed near the shore, but nothing new. Is there no more? And I know if I stay here, I'll never wanna let it go. So I drove, heart in hand. I didn't know where I would land, but your freedom begins where your fear wants it to end. I held my breath, now I let go. Thought I was sinking down, but I'm starting to float. I dove hard in hell, didn't know where I would land, but your freedom begins where your fear wants it to end. Ain't no map, ain't no plan, just the water and who I am. Don't need anything else, just need me and myself. So I dive hard in hell, no need to know where I will land, 'cause my freedom begins where my fear wants it to end. The deep end calls, and I dive in again.
I mean, like, really, right? Absolutely perfect songs. Thank you, Grayson. So now it is time for our conscious giving. So I invite you all to dive deep into that place of abundance, to dive deep into that consciousness that allows us to be supported and to support one another, right? All of that talk of community, well, this is what provides for our community. So I'm gonna pass the basket. You can also, there's a Venmo code and a PayPal code. You can go on our website and hit the donate button, which is what I do. There's many ways to give. You can also give by sponsoring a social hour. We have some opportunities for that coming up in August. But whatever works for you, please give from that abundant, deep place of knowing that you are supported by this community and that it is a give and a take, right? We believe in the law of circulation. So we believe that as you give, that's right. So the more you give, the more you receive. And the deeper you dive into your pockets, the deeper your pockets will become. That is how it works. So I invite you all to join me in an affirmation of our good. So right here, right now, as I give this gift, I know it returns to me abundantly. As I dive deep into my joy, I give from my heart. And I am blessed to do so. And so it is. All right, so we have some announcements. Let me get the announcements here. Okay, so, in 2 weeks, we have a workshop, Writing from the Soul, a sacred journey to clear your mind, open your heart, and write from your soul. It is being facilitated by Chara Rodriguera and myself. It is an afternoon workshop, and I hope that you will join us. It's going to be really blessed. I love her. She's an established poet and a beautiful person, and I'm so excited to be working with her doing this. So there's a link you need to register on Breeze. There's flyers over there. Please take them, pass the word, and come. I'm speaking that Sunday, so you can just come hear me speak and then stay for the afternoon. We have Bob Sima. I already have my ticket. Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer coming up on Friday, August 1st. I think it is, right? Yeah, Friday, August 1st. You have to get a ticket. You don't want to miss them. They are like amazing. They have been my favorite musicians sorry Grayson, but for a long time, when I first came into this teaching, and the song Meditation is the Medication has always been my favorite song, and I still love it, and I can't wait to see them. They are so good. And then on September 7th, we have a beautiful sound journey with Kat Roman. You need to register. It always fills up. And if you haven't done one, it is transcendent and amazing. And you just need to be there. So if you haven't done one, do it. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. So just make sure that you register on Breeze. And we have some Science of Mind magazines. They are the double month of July and August, so it's not too late. And there's money, they're over there, and there's a place to put the money. They are $11.95 now, but they are a double issue. So I read mine every day. They're really, the daily reflection every day is really good. And there's some great articles, and definitely it's worthwhile. And it's a tiny little magazine, so for me, it's my take it with me thing. I can throw it in my bag wherever I'm going. I have it next to my bed. It's like, I don't always take my books because they're heavy and whatever, but I can throw that wherever I go. And sometimes I read the articles several times because I've already read it, but there's always something new to learn, right? And I read mine with my highlighter. So anyway, so I think those are all the announcements. And now I'm going to close. Social hour. Thanks to Lynn and Ulrike. We have a beautiful social hour in our now beautiful social room next door. So please join us all over there for social hour. And now I'm going to close us out with our closing treatment. And then Grayson is going to play another song for us. Yay. So this one you all know, or a lot of you know, and you can join in singing, right? I plan to. So I invite you to close your eyes for this last moment of conscious prayer together, where we affirm our good. This is affirmative prayer, because we are not begging and beseeching to some God outside of ourselves, but we are diving deep within to recognize that divinity within and to speak this word from that place. And so, right here, right now, from that deep ocean of divinity within me, I know this truth. I know that we are all one, with this infinite power, with this source, with this majesty. It exists within each of us, and I know that we can go forth today empowered, uplifted, and supported by one another and by the teaching and what we've heard here today, so that we can be fearless in the shark-infested waters of the world. So we can be supported and use our spiritual scuba gear to dive deep within ourselves and recognize those things that want us to believe we are separate. Because that's what all fear is, right? Separation from the one. But I'm affirming for all of us right here, right now, that we are one. That we are in alignment with that one, and that we are open to receive our good and our blessings, that we are willing to dive deep within to find those treasures, those magnificent, awesome things that are just waiting to be discovered, and that anything that looks like fear dissolves away in the light of spirit. Dissolves away in our daily practices that we are recommitting to do. Dissolves away in this beautiful community that supports one another as we have the courage to dive deep. And so with deep gratitude for this beautiful teaching, for this beautiful consciousness of oneness, for this beautiful community that allows me to know the truth and to speak this word, I simply say thank you. And I release this word into that ever-present and loving law that is always operating, that is ever around us and in us and ever demonstrating that which we believe. And so I simply let it go. And I invite you all, right here, right now, to fearlessly say with me, and so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. And now we have Grace.
Amen. Hallelujah. And this is called Power of Your Love.